show you all the characters that I am planning to use in my 5 upcoming story ideas that I have. Lately, I've been having a lot of great story ideas, and I have 5 to show you and all the characters that are going to appear. Consider this an exclusive sneak peek. So before I start, I would like to remind you that you can jump in and chat whenever you want. I like hearing from you. So if you have a question or something you want to say, just go ahead. Let's just chat while I'm showing you these. Maybe you can tell me what you think of my ideas. So without any further ado, let's get started. So the first story idea I have is a Littlest Pet Shop version of Cinderella called Cinderling. So first we have Penny Ling, who is playing the role of Cinderella, or Cinderling for that matter. It's basically the story of Cinderella, but in Littlest Pet Shop version. So this is Penny when you first see her in the beginning of the story. She is all dirty and dusty from doing chores for the stepmother and stepsisters. And here are the little details of her raggedy gown that I made for her, that I drew on her. And this is how she's going to look at first. But then there's her all cleaned up, but is still wearing her raggedy gown before her fairy godmongoose, who I'll show later, gives her a beautiful dress. And later on around the end of the story, when she puts on the glass slipper or something. Now, I don't have a prop on that. I'm going to have to make that prop sooner or later. But here is Penny as Cinderling. And this is Cinderling when she has this beautiful dress and tiara that the fairy godmongoose gives her. Doesn't she look pretty? So this is Penny Ling playing the role of Cinderella. Then we gotta have the stepmother, Zoe. Zoe Trent is playing the stepmother. And she is wearing a beautiful outfit with white gloves. So this is what she's gonna look like. And then we can't forget about her stepsisters, played by Minka Mark in this fashionable outfit, and Pepper Clark wearing another fashionable outfit. So Minka and Pepper are going to play the stepsisters while Zoe plays the stepmother. And then here is Sunil Nevla, the magician, who is playing the part of the fairy godmongoose, who's going to grant Cinderling's wishes and helps her get a beautiful gown for the ball. So this is what he looks like. He has his magic wand and his giant hat. Giving you some time to see it. Then we have Vinnie Terrio, who plays the prince, who wants to find a playmate for himself. And his assistant, Russell Ferguson, his royal servant. So Vinnie's wearing this fashionable outfit. And here is Russell's outfit. And that's all the characters for Cinderling. I think at one point I might use Blythe. Blythe Baxter, the human girl in Littlest Pet Shop. She's going to be the narrator. So that's Cinderling. And next I'm going to show you the characters for my Wild West story. That's right, I have a Wild West story coming up. Now, I don't know what the plot's going to be like, but it's probably going to have a showdown because, hey, Westerns have showdowns, right? So here is who I'm thinking would be the hero of the Western story. This is Nature Cat, and he is wearing his cowboy outfit, complete with a bandana and boots and his star right there. He might be the sheriff. And Nature Cat also has a few friends who are part of his Western background or story. First, we have Prairie Dusty Trails. Lala Loopsy's very own Prairie Dusty Trails. And of course, we can't forget her little sister, Trouble Dusty Trails, the Lala Loopsy Little. So that's Prairie and Trouble. Then we have Daisy, who's in her Western outfit. And her outfit was from the Nature Cat episode, Daisy's Wildflower Roundup. Doesn't that look cool? Like I said, you're welcome to chat if you would like. Then we have the Brain, dressed up in his outfit that he wore in the Animaniacs segment, Bubba Bo Bop Brain. And in this story, he's going to be referred to as Bubba Bo Bop Brain as well. Then we have Jelly, which her hat is the one she wore in the PB&J Otter episode, Kid Court, where she wants to watch her show, Cowboy Otter. That's why she's wearing that hat. And this outfit I made for her. So she's got on a vest, a bandana-like scarf, a belt, some jeans, and some boots. So that's Jelly. And of course, we gotta have the ambassador of the country Western tribe in Trollstopia, Holly Darlin. Holly Darlin is also one of my favorite trolls. Then we have Launchpad McQuack. He's got a Western outfit of his own, and I don't think it's the same one he wore in the Darkwing Duck episode, Comic Book Capers, but I just had to draw one. So he has a brown outfit with a belt and a hat. So that's him. Then we have Piper Peach. Piper Peach from Yummyland is wearing a different outfit. It looks kind of red on the camera, but it's supposed to be pink with little sparkle decorations on it. And her shoes are supposed to be pink also. And her vest is on, and her hat. So that's Piper Peach. And he might be a cowboy too. He's pretty much a horse that can act like a cowboy. This is Mr. Horse from the Ren and Stimpy show, dressed as a cowboy horse. I don't have the plot narrowed down yet, but I know I have the characters prepared, which is a good thing. And we can't forget the bad guys, the guys who challenge Nature Cat to a showdown. For that, we've got Lenny the Pig, aka played by Leonard, my favorite character from the Angry Birds movie. As you can see, he has no boots on, but he's got a hat with a star, a mustache. He's the one who challenges Nature Cat to a showdown. And his sidekick is none other than Earl, wearing his Western outfit and holding his guitar. And the narrator is going to be this clip art cowboy. Yeah. So here he is. I don't know. I think I have a voice for him. I just don't want to do it right now. But that's all the characters for my Western idea. Now I'm going to move on to my pirate story idea. Now, I got inspired because I heard this song called Wellerman Sea Shanty by, I'm guessing, Nathan Evans. And that was a really good song and it inspired me to do a pirate adventure. So here are all the characters I'm going to use. So first is Patch Treasure Chest, Lalaloopsy's pirate, Patch Treasure Chest. He's the one who's going to warn the pirates of the bad guy pirate and give them the map to the treasure. There are some props in there too, just so you know. Now I'm going to show you the characters who are on the first group of pirates. There's going to be two groups of pirates. And yeah, there's going to be two groups of pirates. And somewhere along the line, they learn to work together. Let's see. Can I find the other one? Yeah, I can. All right. So we got our first group of pirates. First, we have the captain, who is Peanut. And these pirate outfits I drew myself. So first we have Peanut, the captain of the first group. I'm giving you some time to look at his outfit. Then we have Yakko. Yakko is going to be part of Peanut's pirate crew. And I'm not the best at drawing hats sometimes, like for Yakko, but I did my best making sure they look like pirates. Then we have Kowalski. Kowalski is wearing a white dotted blue outfit with a belt, gray pants, I think, and a red bandana. Next, we have Jelly. Jelly is wearing a bandana with a bandana belt down on her waist and some black shoes with gray on them. And these white lines are little details of her pirate outfit. Next, we have Launchpad McQuack, who is wearing an eye patch and this striped outfit. Not everyone has a pirate patch, just so you know. And last but not least, in Peanuts Pirate Crew, we have Penny Ling wearing a bandana and a sash. I think she looks really good that way. And then we have another group of pirates who are somewhat mean at first, but they're going to learn to get along with Peanuts' crew. The captain of this crew is Leonard. Once again, Leonard is in another one of my stories. He has a hat on with a picture of an egg because if you remember the Angry Birds movie, Leonard and the other pigs were out for the eggs. And he's got a pirate patch on, a mustache, once again, green to match the color of his beard. He's got a hook for a hand. This red outfit with little cross detail. Overlapping detail is jelly, but different. And he has a peg leg. So that's Leonard. Then we have Eleanor. And I'm pretty proud of how I made Eleanor's hat. It's a little big on her, but as you can see, it has the skull and crossbones on it, like a pirate. And this is her outfit. And Envy from Inside Out 2 also has a great outfit. This is her pirate hat, which is all green. Most of her outfit is green because, hey, green with Envy. And she's the only one who's wearing a cape behind her red boots and green outfit with green details. Then we have Buford. I kept his look that he had on his shirt, this skull right there, because it suits him well for being a pirate. And he has this outfit brown instead of black and a red bandana, and he has a peg leg. Kind of like Leonard's, only different. Next, we have Low Note Jones, the ambassador of the Funk tribe in Trollstopia. He doesn't have an eye patch, but his glasses are black instead of gold. And he's wearing a striped outfit, sort of like Launchpad, a gold scarf or some sort of sand scarf, sand color, red bandana belt, boots, and just like Leonard, Low Note has a hook for a hand to make him more pirate-like. And last but not least in Leonard's crew is Nature Cat. Nature Cat is wearing his little hat and a sash. It's mostly blue, green, and gold, with a bit of white, black, and brown. And we can't forget about the bad guy in this story. It's going to be Captain Bottlenose, played by Dr. Blowhole from the Penguins of Madagascar. He has a patch to cover his cyborg laser eye he always has. He has his little hat and his piratey outfit, and his scooter is also a different color, which is brown. And we also have a whale who's going to appear in the story. I don't think I have a name for this whale, though. This is the whale. And we gotta have a few props. So I have this treasure map that I printed out for the gang to have to lead them to the treasure. Then I have a treasure chest that's closed and a treasure chest that's open and filled with gold, if you could see that. Very cool. So that is for my pirate idea. Next is a crossover idea of CatDog and PB&J Otter. Since they both came out in the year 1998 in different months, I think this year is their 27th anniversary. So I thought of making this crossover of those shows. So first we have CatDog, of course. CatDog looks ready for action. And I think I have the story figured out. CatDog is going to be transported into Lake Hoo-Ha, while PB&J will be transported into Newburgh. So here's CatDog. And the way they do it is through a secret door. And here is Peanut, as well as Baby Butter and Jelly. So we have Peanut. He and his sisters will be transported to Newburgh, where CatDog lives. Here's Baby Butter, one of my favorite characters in PB&J Otter. And then last but not least, we have Jelly. Jelly is also another one of my favorite characters in PB&J Otter. And there are some other characters from CatDog and PB&J Otter as well. So here is Winslow. We gotta have Winslow, who I think is CatDog's neighbor. So this is Winslow, and he sounds kind of like this. Just gave you a little impression of Winslow. Then we have Rancid Rabbit, one of my favorite CatDog characters. He just seems to have really great outfits for whatever occupation he has. So this is Rancid Rabbit. And we gotta have the antagonists, the Greaser Dogs. So we have Cliff, the tough one. Then we have Shriek. Shriek is the smallest out of the greasers, but she also is pretty tough. And last but not least, another one of my favorite characters, and pretty much my favorite out of the Greaser Dogs, Lube, who's pretty clueless sometimes. So yeah. We also have a taxi. This is the only prop I have so far because Peanut Butter and Jelly might go on a taxi driven by the monotonous Mr. Sunshine. And yes, his voice is pretty monotonous, I think. And he's going to be driving the taxi. Now on to the rest of the PB&J Otter characters that are going to appear. First we have, First we have PB&J's parents. So here is Opal, PB&J's mom. So Opal's going to play a big part, and so is PB&J's dad, Ernest. I think this is a pretty cool picture of Ernest. And we gotta have PB&J's friends. So first we have Flick, who I think he's a troublemaker in the show because he doesn't make the best choices. He's kind of mischievous. So I think Flick is kind of a troublemaker in the show. Maybe you could see it on his face. Next we have Pinch. Pinch is a raccoon, and she is all about tea parties and stuff like that. And her accident-prone little brother Scooch will also appear, causing trouble as usual when he rams into things and is pretty rambunctious. Yeah, he does that in the show, and it's pretty funny. So those are the raccoons. Then we have Munchie. Munchie here is a beaver. And he's a pretty, I hope I'm saying this right. I think he's a pretty timid character. He sometimes worries about things and gnaws on wood. But Munchie's a pretty cool character in my opinion. And then we have Ootsie and Bootsy, the Snooties. And yes, I think they're brother and sister. I think they might be twins because in the episode Invitation to the Snooties, Ootsie and Bootsy were celebrating their birthday together. So I think they might be twins. Ootsie and Bootsy, but I don't know who's older. And this crossover is going to have a bad guy. This is the raccoon bad guy who's going to appear in the crossover. I don't have a name picked out for him yet, but he is wearing this outfit, this hat and mask, and it looks really sinister-like. So that's for the Cat Dog and PB&J Otter crossover. The final one I'm going to show you is a new idea, a more recent new idea. And it's because I've been reminiscing about movies that came out in 2016 that I enjoyed, which are Zootopia, the Angry Birds movie, Finding Dory, The Secret Life of Pets, Trolls, Sing, and Ice Age Collision Course. I enjoyed those movies, and since next year is their movie's 10th anniversaries, I thought I would make a special video and an impression session video to celebrate it. And I might have sent a post talking about that new idea. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Now, I'm going to try and be organized here. Let's start with order of release. So, first we have Zootopia. I think Zootopia came out March 4th, 2016. So that's what we're going to start with, Zootopia. Let me know if you guys have heard of these 2016 movies and enjoy them too. First things first, we got to have the main stars. So we have Officer Judy Hopps. We got Officer Judy Hopps, who is on the case. So next we have her partner, Nick Wilde. And Nick Wilde is my top favorite character of all time. I shared that opinion by saying it's my favorite character of all time in a post on what you guys think of this character. I've been doing a lot of those character posts lately, too. So if you haven't seen those posts, feel free to check them out. So here's Nick. And Nick's little partner, Finnick, who is dressed as an elephant. AKA Elephinick, as maybe the toys call him. That's my guess. And then next we have Flash, the sloth. Flash, 100-yard dash, the one that speaks kinda slow. And no, there's nothing wrong with the connection. I just talked kind of slow to demonstrate Flash. So that's Flash. Next, we have Officer Clawhauser. Officer Clawhauser is going to appear in that movie too, in the 10th anniversary special. And here is Gazelle, who I think is going to have a musical appearance, if I'm not mistaken. Most of these stories, the plot is in progress. It may take a while to get those stories become a reality. So that's Gazelle. We also got to have Mr. Big, a parody of The Godfather. So this is Mr. Big. And then we have Chief Bogo. Obviously, we got to have Chief Bogo. And of course, Bellwether. Now, I'm not going to explain a lot about Bellwether because it might be spoilers for those of you who haven't seen Zootopia. So that's Bellwether. Now, I think I saw on a poster that Angry Birds movie came out in 2016 on May 20th. So first we have Red. Red is the main bird character in the movie. So this is what Red looks like. And of course we have the super speedy Chuck. Chuck is played by Josh Gad in the movie, who also is well known for being Olaf in the Frozen franchise. Just a little fun fact. So we got Chuck. And Red's other friend, Bomb. We gotta have Bomb here. Then we have Matilda, who runs the anger management class they have in the movie. This is Matilda. And then last but not least, the leader of the pigs and my favorite character from the movie, Leonard. Leonard's really cool. I like him. Let me know what your favorite character from any of those movies I show you are. So next up is Finding Dory. Now, I don't remember when Finding Dory came out, but I'm guessing somewhere in June. So first we have Dory, the star of Finding Dory herself. And Finding Dory is the sequel to the Pixar movie Finding Nemo. Speaking of Nemo, Here he is right now. We obviously have to have Nemo. Nemo and Marlin have pretty big roles in the movie too. And then there's the newer characters from Finding Dory. Now, I really like those new characters. Don't get me wrong. So first we have Hank. This is Hank. Hank is a septopus because he has 7 tentacles, not 8 like an octopus does. So this is Hank. And then we have Destiny. Destiny is probably Dory's friend. And I think Destiny taught Dory how to speak whale. If I remember clearly, Destiny might be a whale shark. And then my favorite character in Finding Dory, Bailey, the beluga whale. Bailey has pretty cool echolocation in the movie. And he has the same voice actor, Ty Burrell, and he shares that voice actor with Mr. Peabody from the 2014 movie Mr. Peabody and Sherman, which is from DreamWorks. Here's Bailey. Next is The Secret Life of Pets. Yeah, The Secret Life of Pets, because that came out in July. I don't remember off the top of my head when in July, but it was before the other movie I'll show later, like next after this. So this is Max. Max is one of the main dog characters in the movie. And this is Duke. Duke is the one that goes on an epic adventure with Max. Kind of like Woody and Buzz from Toy Story. And next we have Gidget. Gidget has a big role in the movie too. She goes on an adventure with the other pets to look for Max. And Gidget is voiced by Jenny Slate, who also voiced Bellwether in Zootopia. And then my favorite character in Secret Life of Pets, the adorable Snowball. Snowball is just so cute. He's very cute. I really like him. And he stayed cute through most of the movie, too. He's part of this group called the Flushed Pets. So for those of you who haven't seen the movie, I won't spoil a lot about Snowball. But he's cute. Next is the 5th Ice Age movie in the Ice Age franchise, Ice Age Collision Course, which I think came out in July 22nd. So we gotta have the main players to start off with. First is Manny, the mammoth. Manny has been around ever since the first Ice Age movie. If I remember clearly, that came out in 2002. So it's like over 20 years old, maybe. So we have Manny. And then we have Sid, the sloth. Sid has been around since the first movie as well. And so has Diego. Diego, I think, is known for being tough and maybe a bit sarcastic. That's Diego. Another character that has been around since the first movie and has been an iconic character of Blue Sky Studios was definitely Scrat. The only thing is, I haven't really made his acorn prop. That's the whole reason things go awry in the Ice Age films, because Scrat keeps on searching for that acorn. He's on the hunt for that acorn, and things go wrong for him. And then we have a character who returned from Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs back in 2009 and has appeared in the 2022 Adventures of Buck Wild Disney Plus movie. And he appears in Collision Course 2. This is Buck, short for Buckminster. He's a really cool character. He's my favorite character in the Ice Age films, especially the ones he appears in. And then there's this new character in Ice Age Collision Course who I think looks really pretty. Her name is Brooke. And I'm not going to explain a lot about Brooke for those of you who haven't seen the movie. But somewhere in the movie, the gang goes to this place called Geotopia. And that's all I'm going to explain because I don't want to spoil the movie. Then on November 4th, 2016, sorry, not 2020, the DreamWorks movie Trolls came out. And Trolls is one of my favorite movie franchises. So first we have one of the main stars and one of my favorite Trolls characters from the start of enjoying Trolls, Poppy. So here is Poppy. And then the other star of the movie and the rest of the franchise, Branch. So Poppy is voiced by Anna Kendrick, and Branch is voiced by Justin Timberlake. Then we have the two main stars of creatures called the Bergens, who are pretty gloomy, and they think the only way they'll ever be happy is to eat trolls. But I'm not going to spoil much of that for those of you who haven't seen the movie. So we have King Gristle, one of the main Bergen characters in the movie. And we also have Bridget, who also plays a role in the movie. So here's Bridget. I don't remember in 2016 when this last movie came out, but I think it was somewhere in December. So this is the Illumination movie called Sing, where there's so many subplots of different animal characters. And Sing is a pretty good movie. I like their music. So first we have Buster Moon, my favorite character in Sing. So Buster Moon is the main character, who is played by Matthew McConaughey, and he's the one who runs this singing competition in the Moon Theater in the movie. I think Buster Moon is like the male version of Judy Hopps, so that's why I like him. Then we have the performers themselves. First is Rosita. Rosita plays a big part in the movie too, and her partner is Gunter. So this is Gunter. He has a German accent, I believe. This is Johnny. Johnny here is a gorilla. his dream is to be a singer. Then we have Ash. I think Ash used to be one of my favorite characters in the movie too. Here's another character who likes to sing, but she tries to get over her stage fright. This is Mina, voiced by Tori Kelly. So this is Mina, and she's an elephant. And then last but not least, the jazz music. His music that he performs is jazz. And he plays the saxophone also. This is Mike. Now, I haven't seen the sequel to Sing yet, but I don't think that Mike appears in the sequel. But here's Mike. And that's it, everyone. That's all for all my ideas. Cinderling, the Pirate Adventure, the Western Adventure, the 2016 movies 10th anniversary, and the PB&J Otter and Cat Dog crossover. I wonder which one you're excited for. There is 2 other ideas I have. So there's an episode recreation of the Penguins of Madagascar, Dr. Blowhole's Revenge. That is an episode recreation I'm going to make someday, as well as a retelling Daniel and the Lion's Den story based on the musical VeggieTales edition of Daniel and the Lion's Den from their first video, Where's God When I'm Scared? So I hope you enjoyed this video and keep an eye out for these upcoming stories and videos. And please be sure to like and subscribe for more fun videos. And I will see you all next time. Bye!